Our fourth witness is John Torgan, Narragansett Baykeeper at Save the Bay. Mr. Torgan leads Save the Bay's program to protect the environmental integrity of the bay and its tributaries through sampling, research, and education. He has also performed research on wildlife habitats in the region and provided testimony on ecological issues. Before joining Save the Bay, Mr. Torgan performed ecological research and field studies in New York and Michigan, as well as fishery studies in rivers near hydroelectric dams. He holds a bachelor's degree in environmental studies and biology from Union College, and he and I have shared numerous environmental battles together, and I'm delighted that he's here. Mr. Torgan, thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Senator. This is a unique opportunity to testify on this issue critically important to all of us here, and it's an honor to speak before you today. Save the Bay recognizes that political and scientific disagreements may continue over the extent of human influence on climate change, but regardless of the cause, the solutions we propose are the same. I think what's more pertinent and relevant to this committee and the people of Rhode Island are the manifestations of warming on the coastal and regional ecosystem and identifying the steps we can take today to immediately protect and restore these resources into the future. We know for certain that Narragansett Bay is warmer, both on average and in the extremes than at any time in recorded history. Over the past 30 years, the average mean temperature of the bay has gone up 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and the average mean winter temperature has increased 4 degrees. These may sound like small increases, but in nature, again, it's not the averages, but the extreme events that shape the distribution and assemblage of plant and animal species and really determine the very basis of life in the bay. Warmer temperatures have caused dramatic changes at many levels, and most have a distinctly negative environmental and economic impact on the bay's living resources and on people. The normal and natural plankton cycles, we hear about the spring bloom, plankton, the very currency of life in the bay, are out of balance. The bay's animal and plant communities are fundamentally shifting. Critical habitats are threatened, environmental quality, and even public health and human life and property are jeopardized. Storm-related coastal erosion and sea level rise are accelerating the deterioration of Rhode Island's southern coast. Erosion washes away beaches, coastal property, and it destroys water and wastewater infrastructure. It deposits sediments that choke our coastal ponds and wetland systems, shutting them off from the cleansing influence of the tide and breaking that vital connection to the larger ecosystem. As many state and federal fishery scientists have documented, some of them in this room, we've seen a major shift in fish populations with severe declines here of the classic cold water species like flounder, cod, and other bottom fish. At the same time, we've seen increases in fish and animals that tolerate warmer water like striped bass, summer flounder, and menhaden, for example. Lobsters and scallops are down, while jellyfish and various species of crabs, some of the invasive crabs, are up. Eelgrass, a critical seagrass habitat, while beginning a comeback in recent years, is still way down from historic levels, and high temperatures are a primary culprit in its disappearance. Oyster and quahog diseases, once a scourge of really only more southern estuaries, now affect shellfish here in Rhode Island and threaten the historic and culturally important fishing industry. Excessively warm water temperatures, like what we were seeing yesterday and recently investigating these fish kills, greater than 75, even 80 degrees Fahrenheit, allow dangerous bacteria like Vibrio to infect shellfish at levels great enough to sicken or even kill people. So this is a new, very serious problem to people that we have related to warming here in this region. Some have asked, are these fish kills, these events that we're seeing natural? Are they part of a normal cycle? On one hand, they're natural, but there's no doubt that pollution from sewage and stormwater exacerbates these water quality problems. High temperatures exacerbate water quality problems. They cause algae blooms that cloud the water. They accumulate on the bottom, and algae washes up on the shorelines. And then the algae, both in the bay and on the shorelines, decomposes, and through decomposition, it robs the water of this vital dissolved oxygen. And it contributes to what we've seen out there, some fairly large-scale dead zones on the bottom, and these fish and clam die-offs we've witnessed both 5 years ago and recently. It also causes foul stenches that ruin bay beaches at the peak of tourist season and drive people away from their homes and from the shoreline in midsummer. So what can we do to address and mitigate these threats today? We may not be able to reverse climate change in the short term, but there are concrete steps we can and must take today. Strong actions to bolster the bay's natural resilience and protect its ecology and critical habitats. We should act now to reauthorize the Coastal Zone Management Act and include funding for coordination of agencies and management and look at regional ecosystem-based management that goes beyond jurisdictional boundaries of states or even watersheds and looks at the region as a unit. Let us work to further reduce sewage, stormwater, and nutrient pollution by investing in advanced wastewater treatment technologies and improving wastewater infrastructure in our coastal communities. That'll help take some of the pollution pressure off. Let's invest in clean, sustainable, and renewable energy sources. And let's crack down on old dirty power plants that continue to pollute and cause thermal pollution problems, further exacerbating these problems we're talking about. Let's fill in the gaps by ensuring that the data, like LIDAR was mentioned, how we measure the elevation of sea level rise, that data that we're collecting give us the information we need to adequately plan for and manage coastal development and climate change. And let us formulate and implement a comprehensive habitat restoration and protection plan for Narragansett Bay and Rhode Island's southern coast that integrates restoration, dredging, sediment management, and coastal development planning together. Let us embrace regional ecosystem-based and adaptive management strategies that look at the big picture, and let's eliminate duplicative efforts by the many local, state, and federal agencies charged with managing these common resources. Let us protect the integrity of the Clean Water Act and other benchmark environmental legislation in Congress that we advocates and coastal managers depend on to enforce environmental laws and protect these systems. By taking these steps, we believe we'll be doing all we can to combat the effects of climate change and to ensure the healthy future of Narragansett Bay, both for the environment and for people. Thank you.
Thank you, John.